And here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. So, shit, here we go again. I should have used that thumbnail for this particular stream, but I've pushed back main event an hour, whether I make it or not. We'll see. But we do have officials are reporting that President Trump is set to deliver an urgent nationwide address soon. Now, will this actually happen? I don't know. That's why I put reportedly in the title, because we're just taking that. But there's a lot going on, because we now have, right before I went live, we have a report that Kristi Noem has been rushed to the hospital in Washington, D.C. Kristi Noem.
Breaking news just into CNN. Sources say Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem this afternoon has been taken to the hospital. I want to go straight to CNN's Priscilla Alvarez. Priscilla, what are you learning about this?
Phil, we're still trying to gather details. What we know so far is that the Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem, was transported by ambulance on Tuesday to a hospital in Washington, D.C. One source telling our colleague Holmes Librand that she has been conscious at the hospital and has spoken to her security detail. We have also reached out to the Department of Homeland Security for any comment or additional details about what transpired here. So again, so far we know only that she was transported to a D.C. area hospital by ambulance. Today, we are still trying to learn more about her condition, though a source did say that she is conscious and she has spoken to her detail, Phil.
So there you go with that. And of course, the big story that I'm focusing on is there's been a couple of different reports that say that, President Trump is set to address the nation here. So we'll see what ultimately happens from this, and if President Trump is going to address the nation. He's been very, very quiet since the meeting ended, and we're getting all these reports from like the New York Times. Iran prepares missiles to retaliate. Strikes against the U.S. bases if U.S. enters the war. There's no telling if what's true and what's not at this point in time. So I'm hoping that President Trump does. I don't want him to address the nation, because if he addresses the nation, that's not a good sign as far as I'm concerned. There's no need to address the nation to tell the nation that we're not getting involved. The only reason he would do an address of the nation is to inform the public that we are getting involved. You know what I mean? So we're currently waiting to see what the latest news is and if this is going to happen. So I've decided to go ahead and go live just in preparation for him to make this address, if in fact it does happen, which I do anticipate something. So keeping our eye on that. Let me see. Let me pull this tweet back up. So hang on. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who Alex Stone is, but Alex Stone tweeted it out as well. President Trump is set to deliver an urgent nationwide address soon. I haven't seen, to be honest, I'm not sure what sources are actually matter. I don't know what sources to trust anymore anyway, because so many people are running with false narratives and false stories. I think we do have, there's only one person that I actually trust, and that would be Vice President Vance. And so if Vice President Vance says that there is going to be an address to the nation, I would believe it, but only if this man shows up and says we're going to address the nation. So, but we haven't heard anything from the great Vice President at this point in time. It is one of the greatest picks of all time. It really is. All right. So we're waiting. We're waiting. Officials are reporting that President Trump is set to deliver an urgent nationwide address soon. I'm keeping an eye on everything that I possibly can. We did push Tuesday night's main event back an hour. And if I can't make it over there, they'll go ahead and run it without me. So keeping an eye on stuff right now. Let me see here. Go to Fox Now. What is Fox Now saying? Oh, they're not live anymore. Are they? They are live. Okay. Kristi Noem has been taken to the hospital. Apparently she is she's been communicating with her team. So it doesn't sound like it's terribly serious, but I guess there's no way to know for sure. Let's see. I think that if we're going to get involved, my theory on this is Trump's not going to say anything until the strikes have already happened. That's what I think. So, hang on. Oh my God. If I can pull this up. Strikes are happening now. Okay, let's see here. Trying to pull a live feed up right now. What is this? Ah, shit. Here we go again. GTA. This is Tel Aviv. I'm assuming this is a live feed. A lot of these channels are full of shit, by the way. Mr. Slendy 10 says Kristi Noem just rushed to the hospital. Yep, I addressed that right when we went live. Showed the report. This is old footage. I figured this is probably old footage. A lot of these channels post old shit and make you think it's new so they can get views up. I think this is old footage. Old, yeah. I figured that's what it was. Let's go to the AP feed. They're the, like, I don't believe a lot of these bullshit channels. So I'm going to stay on the AP feed because all they want to do is they regurgitate the same clips so that they can get people to tune in. So what happened to the AP feed? It went black. There we go. Okay. Yeah, and then so people will tune in and then they'll keep seeing the same attack over and over again, and then they think that it's, oh my gosh, look at this. So if you're just tuning in, we've got multiple reports that President Trump is set to address the nation soon. What does soon mean? Could that mean 10 minutes from now? Could that mean an hour from now? Could that mean 3 hours from now? I have no idea. But that is the latest report that we are getting from, let me see. Okay, we got that one. And yes, Kristi Noem has been rushed to the hospital, and we don't have a lot of details beyond that. What's crazy is that channel that was kind of just replaying the old footage. They have like 7,000 people watching. They have 6 million subscribers, and they're just replaying old footage. So annoying. Al Jazeera has 562,000 people watching their feed. Now I've got this one, which was a multi-cam feed. I'm not going to keep an eye on that one right now, though. Alex McCarthy, thank you for becoming a new member, brother. Good to see you here. Brian Doyle says, why can nobody answer what is in it for the U.S.? I mean, I think that's a layered answer for sure. Lauren says, thank you. Thankful to have this to give me actual news. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's also a sad state of realities. If I'm a trusted source of news, that just kind of shows you that we're all fucked at that point. If I'm a trusted source for news, but I do appreciate it. Noam, okay, it's an allergic reaction. Is that the reports that we got? I don't see any updates on it yet, but I saw your super chat. Let's see. Allergic to BBC. Oh, man. Maximum CT says aggressive negotiations. Tweeted Tone says, I can't be drafted because I still have my foreskin, right? Jake Stanley says, we're going to get World War III before GTA 6. Man on Journey says, you were right about one thing, Master. The negotiations were short. Selt says, see Loomer's post of Iran's video stroking a nuke. I haven't seen that one from her. Let's see here. Okay, so yes, the update is that Kristi Noem, yes, having an allergic reaction. She's doing okay. So that's all it was. No big deal with that. I know a lot of people saw that and they thought like, oh man, did Iran get to her? Thank you, Shorty Short, for the update. Brian says, Israel seems to be doing a bang-up job all by themselves. Why do they even need up? Hopefully, we're going to find out from the President of the United States soon. I'm going to continue to update you guys on the stories that's out there. So this is one of the stories that's out there. Officials are reporting that President Trump is set to deliver an urgent nationwide address soon. I personally hope that's not true, by the way. I hope that it doesn't happen. Because I do believe that if Trump does a nationwide address, I don't think that's a good sign. I would much rather no nationwide address happens. A nationwide address, smart money would be on that he's addressing the nation because he's announcing that we're getting involved. And I hope that does not happen. No news is good news. Exactly. Magic Moon. That's where I'm at. No news is good news. Now, there's been a lot of false reporting out there from a lot of different sites that are just running with anything they can run with. What is this right here? Here we go. Iran just fired 25 ballistic missiles at populated areas across Israel. No reported injuries. Back already? I just left. Yes, we're back already because the news never stops. So that's one video feed. And then here's another one.
مكثرين هالمرة كليكو.
Yeah.
ولا
What? Huh. Couldn't understand what he was saying. Jen says, Jeremy, would you be okay with the U.S. only hitting the underground facility where they hid the enriched uranium? It's not even about that. It's just, I think that Trump needs to be very transparent as to why we are involved based on Israel's actions. Why, if in fact that we needed to deal with this, then why didn't we do it? Why does it seem like we are reacting to Israel's actions? That's what I don't like about this. And I think most people said, I think most people feel the same way, where it's like, it's not that Trump feels that he needs to take action. It's that on the surface, it seems like he feels that he needs to take action because Israel decided to take action. And I don't like that. I don't like the optics of that at all. Andrew CR says, let's see, Iran, is it Iran? We ran. Happy birthday to Jen and Lady Aaron. Always in our hearts. Thank you, Andrew CR. Appreciate it. Chief Luke says, you're gay. Jonathan says, is Iran announcing a PS6? Maybe. At least we got Mario Kart World. Alice McCarthy says, bought the new IDOT shirt. Hell yeah. I don't know if the chat or if our mods have that link, but we still have that for sale. I think it's going to end next week for the new IDOT shirt in our Teespring store. Dr. Kaladin says, I heard the military got ice cream last night. We are going to war, aren't we? We'll see. Andy Plays Games says, Christy Nome took Ryan's peanut butter tolerance advice. Zero says, happy belated birthday to Lady Aaron D. and Jessica Lindstrom. Forever 21 mod lives matter. Brian Doyle says, this looks like a retro gaming stream of Missile Command. Lol. Okay, so we're in the waiting game right now. We are currently waiting to see if President Trump. Now, again, I don't know how much I want to believe this account, because this account is ran by a gay furry. That is not even like, I'm not even making a meme of that, okay? But Raw Alerts says, President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu, whatever his fucking name is, have spoken on the phone. Any guesses what it's about? So, yeah, like you can look it up. Like this account's ran by a gay furry. I'm not even making it up. Like I know it sounds like a meme. I'm actually being for real. This is a pretty good news source for sure. So I'm not going to sit there and say like that this person's like a terrible news source, but you know, where does this information come from? Where are they getting this information? Who in the administration is constantly giving this information to these news sources? Where is the source? That's the question I have for all of that. Where's the source? By the way, I do have it on good authority that we have the reason why the United States is going to war with Iran. Apparently, Iran is behind nearly 3,000 Nintendo Switch 2 units were stolen out of the back of a truck that were headed to GameStop. 3,000 Nintendo Switch 2s. I have it on good authority that this is why we are going after Iran. Iran is supposedly behind this. So I don't know. I can't confirm nor deny that, though. So we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. Oh, man. Goodness. All right, let's go back to this AP feed while we're waiting. In case anything happens. I believe this is this is Jerusalem Skycam. Scalpers getting bold. Yeah, I heard that. All right. So we did have a new wave of Iranian attacks, and that is happening right now as we are currently waiting to see. And then, of course, the reports about Kristi Noem going to the hospital. It was allergic reaction, so there's nothing to worry about from that perspective. Okay. Dude, like, okay, so I know I love Alex Jones, okay? I love Alex Jones. He's been kind of going ham on all of this. And I kept seeing this video making the rounds. Apparently this is an AI generated clip. So the audio has been doctored. That's what the community note says. I've been seeing people react to this like crazy. And I have not talked about this clip. But yeah, so apparently this is an AI generated clip. So there you go. I've been seeing this clip going around and people have been like, oh no. And apparently, according to community notes, and I'll be honest, AI is terrifying because sometimes I see stuff and I don't even know if it's real or not. I have no idea. I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. Is this real? Is this true? So, yeah, fog of war is AI or both. Yeah. And it's only going to get worse. Oh, hang on, guys. I don't want anyone to see this. This channel is BS and on an awful scale. I recommend that you all leave now. This account right here. So I don't want anyone to see that comment because I may lose all of my viewers. I hope no one sees this clip. How will I ever survive? How will I ever survive? Holy shit. It's over, boys. I'm cooked. Damn it. Just when we were getting some traction on the channel. Bye, chat. Sorry. I'm not good at what I do. Apologize. Have a good day, everyone. Release the McCracken says, check my prior comment. Oh, the chat's moving way too fast. Unless it was a super chat. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. Everybody's unsubbing from me right now anyway. We just gained viewers since that guy made that comment, by the way. Zero says, I got that. Scott says, does Israel need our help? No, but they've bought and paid for almost every politician in Washington, and now they are crashing in their markers. Aldo says, if these two Middle Eastern bozos want to destroy each other, go ahead, but leave others out of it. Let the FAFO take its course. The Bagman says Trump is going to announce Israel as the 51st state, meaning Iran just attacked the U.S. Looks like Israel beat Canada to it then. Jen says, as I've understood it to the U.S., the only country with the weapon to actually destroy the site. I understand your reluctance, but in the end, the world cannot live with a nuclear-powered Iran. I mean, I'm not against that in theory. President Trump has been consistent about his stance on Iran having not having a nuclear weapon. He's always talked about that. And if he's initiating this situation, then okay, but Israel did. And all of the information that we have gotten, the fake news reporting, the lies, the manipulation, it's very much not good for the American public to have to hear all of this stuff that we can't tell what's real and what's not. And that's what worries me. David Harvey with 10 gifted memberships. Thank you, David Harvey. I appreciate that, brother. Joseph with 50 says, more BS, please. Thank you. I will do my best to provide that if I can. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. More people are tuning in, and I'm just letting you know that we've got multiple reports that President Trump is set to address the nation. We have no specifics or times of when this is going to happen. What we are trying to, what we're hearing is that it's soon. And none of it is directly came from the administration at this point in time, by the way. Nothing directly from the administration. That's why I put in my title, reportedly, because this is not directly from the administration. So we just had Iranian ballistic missiles over Tel Aviv. JD Corey over on Rumble says Barnes and Barris both think this Iran issue can sink Trump and cost the 2026 elections. You should watch them. I mean, I haven't tuned in to watch Barnes lately. I know Robert Barnes. I like Robert. He's great. A wealth of knowledge, by the way. Do I think that it can destroy Trump's presidency? I think that's a lot of hyperbole. But I think it can definitely fracture a lot of the credibility. I mean, I've already told you, like, if we get involved with this war, it will be, I based on the information we have, I 1000% disagree with us getting involved. I don't like it. I don't want it. And I don't think it will be good for him. But I think there's some hyperbole to say that it will destroy him. I just think it will hurt some of his credibility moving forward with his base in a pretty substantial way. But to say that it will destroy him, I don't know if it will destroy him. It won't be good for him though. Let me see. You're a rhino, bro. Well, if you're going to insult me, please spell properly. We've been over this many times. Twice yesterday. Twice. I was trying to make a point on Twitter, and I misspelled my tweet, and I lost the argument because I misspelled. So again, you can criticize me, but please spell properly when you talk shit about me. These are the rules of the internet, okay? And what's your name? Enrique? I can be your hero, baby. There you go. Enrique Iglesias, right? Enrique Iglesias watches my channel and can't spell when he's criticizing me. What kind of world do we live in? Billy Ray Cyrus's son watches. Enrique Iglesias, Michael Jackson's family members. Dude, we are crushing it right now, bro. Respect. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. I don't know what the hell's happening. Again, we're currently waiting. We're just chilling. We're relaxing. I'm looking at all these videos coming in right now of attacks that are happening. I think this is horrific. Like, I know that, like, you can look at, like, I never been to the Middle East, never going to go to the Middle East. It doesn't mean that I just look at stuff like this and think like, oh, this is cool. This is terrifying stuff to witness, man. I feel terrible for like the innocent people that are caught up in this. I really do. But again, it's the equivalent of, like, are people that are over there, are they looking at us having our cities burning right now with like illegal immigrants? And are you guys going, we should go help them? I don't hear that. So like, we got our own problems right here. It doesn't mean I'm not sympathetic to the people that are going through it, but we have our own problems we need to deal with in this country right now. That's the problem that I have. I got me as an American and a taxpayer, like I got illegal immigrants running around major cities in the United States of America that used to be celebrated and used to be wonderful places to go. We got illegal immigrants running around in our country, burning cars and taking over cities. That's what I care about. It doesn't mean that I'm not sympathetic to what you're going through, but it doesn't mean that we should be involved. Call me crazy, but that's my stance on it. So, okay, I want to see if there's any new updates right now of president and if he's going to address anything. Build roads, not bombs. Yeah, there's plenty of problems with roads and everything like that. I don't know who this is, but to those that are interested, celebrity chef and Food Network star Anne Burrell is dead at 55. Cause unknown. I have no idea who this person is. So I don't know if anybody does. I've never heard of this person at all. But it's all over my feed at the moment. So yeah. Dang, a lot of people do know. A lot of people don't, but a lot of people do. So there you go. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Okay. Where are we? MK Solid says Gnome had a bad reaction to Alina Habba's perfume during a spicy three-way. I respect that. Magnum Norris says World War III concerns will be obliterated as soon as people realize that Iran is a giant desert filled with monkeys. Pedro says Israel is gayer than Miki. Release McCracken. Hey, Hale, check my prior comment. Yeah, there was no way I was going to be able to catch that. I'm sorry, brother. Lying Dog Face Pony Soldier with the get the membership. Maybe Fantastic Knox says maybe Iran is buying all those Switch 2s to make it a supercomputer, like Iran buying PS2s to build a supercomputer. Simple Jeremy says, can I get 5 big booms for the haters in the chat? Me, Epic Mike. Everyone, this channel is cooked. Go sub to the real YouTube channel, Geeks and Gamers. What up, Mike? Tuesday night's main event is happening tonight. And I know we have people tuning in, so I'm just showing this post because this post, along with many others, have been going around that has led to this live stream. So I decided, since we don't have any specifics on when the live stream is supposed to happen, wait a minute, what is this? Okay, since we don't have any specifics, we don't have a time. The administration has not released any information. So we're kind of in a waiting game. We're in a holding pattern right now. Schrodinger's chat says, neither side eats bacon. This is not my war. The old guard says, don't worry, Fig. I'm too lazy to unsub. Modalicious says, wars and rumors of wars. I heard that somewhere. Mike Zero Source says, just in, this conflict is going to be settled through beer pong and wet t-shirt competition. You can verify this with Mike Zero. They should just play Mario Kart World and get it over with. That's the way you settle it. Andrew for $9.99 says, why does it feel like we're in the Godfather third act hit parade? Michael's praying at the baptism while his enemies get popped like mobster pinatas. It's all too tidy, like we're watching a checkmate. Well, if we've heard, we've seen this with Trump for years, and we've heard him talk about, hey, whenever these presidents in the past, they basically give all of our plans up to the enemy beforehand, and he thinks that's one of the stupidest things you can do. So he's clearly working on something behind the scenes. I don't know what that is. And it looks like his idea for peace is just going to continue to fall through. I don't know, man. So is the Switch 2 worth $500? I mean, that's all up to you. I mean, me personally, I mean, absolutely. But I mean, and you can take away like the aspect of me streaming it and all of that. I mean, I'm going to put several thousand hours into Mario Kart World over the course of the next several years. So yes, for me, yes, but that doesn't mean it's worth it for you. Heroic Kitten says, Bungie just announced that they're delaying the latest game Marathon indefinitely. Really? Marathon's delayed indefinitely? That sounds like a good move. Sounds like a good move. So Celebrity Jeremy says, something to remember, Trump doesn't have to worry about re-election. Combine that with everything else he's doing right. He's got the freedom to do whatever he thinks is right. I trust Trump. I mean, I generally stand with you on that. Like I said, I have to hold firm on, though, I don't want any new wars at all. And I don't want us involved in someone else's problems. There is the argument of like, well, if they do have a nuclear bomb or whatever, we have to deal with that. And I do understand it, but I don't know, man. This whole thing has just been a messy rollout. The information has been terrible. I think the transparency from the Trump administration has not been very good. The communication from the Trump administration has not been very good on this topic. And we have been relying on what we have been told over and over again by not reliable sources that are driving the narrative around a lot of this right now. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Jose M says, poor Israel is currently in the George W. Bush era with warmongers, Netanyahu. Don't worry, Israel. You're only 8 years away from a Trump-like figure to emerge and make Israel great again. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I watched some stuff with Netanyahu, and I don't. He gives me like, I explained it last night. That and it's so weird because whenever you say this, then the people accuse you of like being like, well, again, it's weird because on one side you're accused of being anti-Israel, on the other side you're being accused of being pro-Israel. And how can I be pro-Israel if I'm criticizing their prime minister? Because I think that he comes off as the mall kiosk guy of world leaders, especially when he said that today it's Tel Aviv, tomorrow it can be New York. When he said that, there's no chance that I'm going to believe anything this guy has to say at that point. Like, that is pure fear-mongering is what that was. That was pure fear-mongering. Pure, flat-out fear-mongering. Today it's Tel Aviv. Tomorrow it can be New York. What? Like, that was unbelievable when he said that. And I'm like, who believes this? Who believes that? And it comes off as like you're trying to scare people into supporting you. I didn't like it. Let's see. Dokumon says, we need Jeremy Cash to handle peace negotiations. Wizard Man says, remember the poll, 90% say to not get involved. That's true. I would say like 90% of MAGA is 100% against America's involvement in this war. 90% at this point. No updates on Trump's address the nation at this point. I'm seeing nothing. We've saw a lot of reports of where is it at? I'll show you what Iran said earlier today. Iran media anyway. I think it was Breaking 911 tweeted it out. Right. Yeah, right here. So Iranian state media says there is a surprise tonight that the world will remember for centuries. That is from Iranian state media saying that. Oh my gosh. Someone said, explain this like Jar Jar Binks using rap lyrics. Yo, Misa Jar Jar Binks, spitting rhymes about this mess. Listen up quick. Iran's talking big, saying surprise tonight. World gon' remember this fight. Missiles flying fast. Boom to Israel, they blast. Tel Aviv got hit. Military. Can't do it. This is amazing. Oh, the internet is a crazy place, man. The internet is a wild place right now. American Patriot says Rand Paul and Massey are true rhinos. Southeastern Kaiju says monetize the haters hail. Zach says 100% agree with you, Jeremy. You can't help your neighbor if your own house is on fire. Yes. We can't, like, you can't. Donald Trump ran on, if I don't win this election, we won't have a country anymore. And I agree with him. Elon Musk agreed with him. Tucker Carlson agreed with him. Everybody agreed. So now you're in office. You've been in office for a few months, and we're already in a Middle Eastern conflict. I mean, come on. Don't like it. America first, baby. Corn Pop says, hey, Carla, Vegas. Look at that, Carla. You get fans. Southeastern Kaiju says, was working retail in 1991 and saw the start of the Gulf War on the big screen. Deja vu all over again. Here we go again. Yep. Here we go again, unfortunately. Sad, but true that this is where we are. And if we get this address, which I will continue to say, I hope we don't get the address from Trump. I hope it doesn't happen, because if we do get the address, that's a bad thing in my opinion. DeBrew that do says Trump still has to do well in the midterms. He fucks this up now and his agenda is dead. I agree. I agree that it will hurt him because of the overwhelming amount of people that are in MAGA that are against this. Let's see. No updates, nothing at this point in time. Not one update from anybody or anything. And the administration is being very, very quiet. The administration is not talking at all right now. What is Newsmax saying right now? Let's hear what Newsmax is saying.
Was just saying, because while that seemed like a relatively big barrage, one of the earlier ones this afternoon sounded like it was only a couple of missiles. And KT is saying there's some intelligence suggesting that maybe Iran's missile supply is dwindling and dwindling fast. Good evening.
Yeah, that's right. And the reason why I'm talking to you through the phone, I'm listening to you through the phone, is because we just got another pre-alert. The Amber Alert tone just kicked me off my AirPods and I couldn't reconnect them. So we do expect that our area is about to come under fire again. This was a pretty considerable wave. And you kind of see me, ducking in and out. The same rules apply, what they tell you about a tornado, that if it looks like it's getting bigger, but it's stationary, that means it's coming at you. And the same rules apply for these missiles. If the light in the sky is getting brighter, but it doesn't look like it's moving, like it's stationary, then it's coming at you. And so that's why I'm ducking in, because it does seem dangerous. You're looking at something that's at 30,000, 40,000 feet in the sky, though, at that time. So I'm ducking down. I'm getting off our ledge here, just trying to anticipate if I need to book it. We've got a shelter just nearby. So that's kind of why you see me in and out of the frame. The issue with some of these, and I'll check here to see if we've got an update of the alerts. We do have a detection of missiles towards our area once again. This is now 2 minutes old, so we're expecting that over-the-air sirens will sound here in probably the next 5 minutes or so as the streets are empty and folks are still in their shelters from that previous attack. We do not have any reports of any casualties
Green
as a
screen.
result of the previous attack. We do see some damage on the ground and some fires burning, but it does not appear that any.
I mean, honestly, I don't believe it was a green screen, but it damn sure doesn't look. It doesn't look far off from a green screen.
View skyline will light up again.
Zach, we want you to stay safe. If you need to go to that bunker, obviously, please do that. We're going to bring in our panel in a minute, and then we'll bring you back if we hear those missiles and see those missiles coming in. Very briefly, what about KT's point? Because I think you have a better perspective than we do in a TV studio, which is that seemed like a relatively big barrage. But the one before that seemed to be a couple of missiles, and as you said, no casualties, thankfully. Are you getting a sense on the ground that Iran, we may see a bunch of missiles tonight, but that they're sort of like firing some of their final bullets?
I get that assessment from the IDF. That's what we were told today. We were also told that there's probably within the regime an effort to conserve in these attacks because that's their remaining power base. If they don't have their weapons that can reach across the Middle East, then what are they in the Middle East? The assessment right now from the IDF, what we've been told, they say that 40% of the launchers themselves have been destroyed. Around 200 of those are no longer operable. They would not go into detail as to how many missiles they think are still remaining. Over the last 24 hours, this last attack excluded, every attack before that, about 8 or so, had been less than or fewer than 10 missiles in each salvo. We had at least 2 attacks where it was just one ballistic missile at a time. That's an indication that they're running out of their ability, their capacity to be able to fire what we saw on Saturday, Sunday, 100 at a time. And that's the most deadly because those are the saturation attacks. That's really hard for any air defense system in the world to shoot down that much incoming, especially when they're all close together, raining down in one specific area.
Bro, chat is brutal. Somebody said dollar store Star Wars theory. Holy crap. Chat is brutal and I love it.
But if it's 15 in one area, that's a saturation attack. This one, if it was a 15 volley levied across the south, the north, and central Israel, then that would be more apt for the air defense systems to actually successfully intercept. So again, any second now, we'll probably hear the air raid sirens over Tel Aviv.
All right, but nowhere near the 100 or so that you were seeing during certain clips this past weekend. So that's important perspective. Again, stay safe. If you got to get to the show.
All right. Chat always MVP. So let me see. Black Kane for 10 says, don't worry, Jeremy. I have reports that there is a team of elite Navy pilots playing shirtless beach football in preparation to take out Iran's nuclear infrastructure. Thank you. Timu Theory. Hangry is Angry says Trump is going to announce Trump Towers resort in Tehran. It's big and beautiful. The best, and gas will only be $1 a gallon. Fantastic, Mr. Knox. Remember this: if Biden didn't, unfreeze Iran's $6 billion, correct me if I'm wrong, they wouldn't have the funds to consider producing materials for nukes. I think that was Obama, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Obama. Southeastern Kaiju says 1000% believe Islam won't stop with Israel. All right. I'm trying to keep an eye on all of these new updates. So much going on. It was both. Okay. It's so weird that we're at this point where poly market now, like we're seeing the poly market graph. Betting activity is ramping up as speculation grows over potential U.S. military action against Iran before July on poly market, as odds have climbed to 70%. I'm not sure I'm ever going to get fully like, this is so weird, man. It's like people standing around watching like football, but it puts it into perspective because war is a business. War is business. 100%. This is why I'm not for war. I don't support it because war is a business. It's a big business. It may be the biggest business. And that was Trump's claim to fame. I mean, obviously, he doesn't need a claim to fame, but I think one of the shining things from his first administration was that, no new wars, So, okay, we got that. So Kristi Noem is fine. We showed the Arnold clip earlier today. And let's see. Mr. Scott says the craziest part of Netanyahu's speech yesterday is when he tried to appeal to MAGA by saying, make the Middle East great again. I didn't actually hear him say that part, but yeah. All right, right over here, Fox News is live. This is not live for Trump. This is a previous comment, but let's hear what they're having to say.
It'll be an honor to trade with you, and here's what you're going to have to pay to do it. We're making a lot of money. We took in $88 billion in tariffs.
There's other tariffs coming down the pipe here.
I have a lot of them, yeah.
President Trump talking about tariffs and the fallout from them. Joining us tonight, Ken Langone, co-founder of Home Depot, major donor to the Republican Party, and somebody who we trust talking about the economy.
Okay, well, they're talking about that, so we're not going to stick to that. I just wanted to make sure we're keeping an eye on all the news sources to make sure we don't miss anything. Gavin Freenun says, don't believe the hype about them running out of ammo. They said Russia was running out of ammo 2 years ago, laughing my ass off. Nosferatu says, this guy should ask Jay for some green screen advice. Preston says, Disney has better CGI. Christian Rocker says, dang it, I thought Smash Bros was behind him. That does remind me, because you guys were talking about the CGI. And remember was it the Weather Channel? When they had that guy was acting like the wind was blowing him over, and then there was people calmly walking behind him. Is this it right here? I don't remember if this is the one or not. It was so great. Is this one of them right here? I don't know if this is it or not. Let's see here.
As that reporter struggles to keep his balance.
Okay, picking it up here in Wilmington, North Carolina, right at the Intracoastal, and we're in one of these bands.
So that's Mike Seidel in Wilmington, North Carolina. But as he braces and fights the wind Friday, check out the two guys who seem to walk right by him in the background there with no trouble at all. The video has been shared more than 1 million times on social media. So now a spokesperson for the Weather Channel is defending Seidel, saying it's important to note that the two individuals in the background are walking on concrete while Seidel tries to maintain his footing on wet grass. The spokesperson goes on to say Seidel was exhausted after reporting on air until 1 a.m.
No, they didn't actually say that, did they? Oh, no. I didn't know that was their reasoning for it. Holy crap. Jeez, that's rough right there. That's rough. Okay. Christian Rocker says, dang it. I got that one. Cole Rodriguez says, Israel is the yapping dog that needs its owner to protect it. I'm not dying for Israel. Polite Rude Guy says, I 100% support Israel and Donald J. Trump 2028. Ministry of Wrong Things says, half the world could have their faces melting off in a nuclear fallout, and the other half of the world would be posting clayface memes. You're not wrong about that. Joe C says, I'm thinking that Iran may unleash a sleeper cell in the States tonight, probably New York. What do you think? The problem is under Joe Biden, I don't know who's in this country. But when I bring up the fact of could there be a false flag within the United States? Could Iran have, sleeper cells here? The answer is, yeah, they could. They absolutely could. And do you know what? That's why we don't need to be focused on Middle Eastern conflicts right now, because Joe Biden for 4 years just allowed anybody and everybody to walk into this country with nothing. That's why we need to be focusing on this. We have an invasion going on in this country right now, and that is what I want us focused on. JRG Project says, Rush Limbaugh predicted this situation, not Iran specifically, but the fact that the only way for Trump and by extension Vance to lose is by alienating the MAGA base. This will be Trump's legacy. I know a lot of people wish they could get Rush Limbaugh's take on all of this right now about what's going on. Madman says the world is crapping their pants watching Israel have their way with Iran. We don't export the F-22 and the F-35s that we do don't have the same capabilities as ours. Shanna is like, holy shit. Yeah, and thank you, Madman, for the $20 super chat. I appreciate that. Fantastic vs. Knox says, Weatherman, I could have gotten away with it if you guys just played along with me that the winds are strong and the mainstream media wonder why the trust is gone. And to be fair, like, I've been through plenty of hurricanes, and I don't think that you don't have to fake it in the most serious situations like that at all. But more often than not, the winds aren't that powerful. Let me see. Got that. Okay. How about this? Is this guy on a green screen too? His looks a little more realistic than Newsmax.
This city air defense systems.
His looks a little more real.
Active over Tel Aviv, with hundreds of thousands of people into bomb shelters at this moment. Unhooked. Get off. All right, we got it. We're gonna move. Okay, stay with us. Stay with us.
Jupiter Knight says, D-Day Cobra, Jeremy, major wildfire just broke out east of San Diego. I'm 4 miles from it currently. Really? Is it major? Like, I'd actually like to see some video of that if we have any.
Stay with us. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving.
This is an hour old.
Give me 1 second, Jesse. I'm with you. I got to fix my IFB. One second, Jesse. We're going to give you a quick update.
How much do these guys get paid to be over there? I'm curious about that.
I'm with you. Jesse, I got you back.
There's a shelter-in-place order right now. We hear the sirens. Trey, are you with me?
Yeah, Jesse, I'm with you. We got disconnected for a moment from our IFB there. You could see a lot of those missiles coming off as they were trying to intercept some of that incoming fire. We saw the first one go out to the sea, and because they could track where it was going, they let it get intercepted out at sea. This is an indication that the Iranians still, as the Americans are deciding whether or not they want to get involved in this war, are firing on major population centers. Again, we have to make the decisions very quickly to move. That's part of what you just saw there. We'll stay as long as we can. And you can hear there's a massive explosion overhead. And once we have another minute, we're going to go out and see if anything was hit. But you could just hear that explosion there, Jesse. And that's why we get off the balcony as the fire starts to get heavier. But again, this has been going on for the past 4 days as the Iranians respond to these strikes that are taking place across their territory. And despite the fact that the Israelis told us earlier today that they were able to take out around 40% of the missile launchers, we understand that they have not been able to take out all of them. And so we expect to see more of this type of fire in the days ahead.
It's crazy stuff, man. Crazy, crazy stuff. Let's see. Darth Bane says, now show the clip of Anderson Cooper standing in a ditch during a hurricane talking about how bad the flood is. Yeah, I'd have to try to find that one. I remember that one from a long time ago, though. Yeah, I mean, it's Anderson Cooper, so we know he lies about everything. Margie says, I had a dream the night before last Tampa was struck. I hope I'm wrong. Well, I hope you're wrong too. I just don't see any realistic chance of that happening right now, but time will tell, I guess. Now, if you're just tuning in, again, I'm just going to repeat what I've been saying over and over again, because We're at the mercy of waiting for more information. We have got several reports that President Trump is set to deliver an urgent nationwide address at some point. Nothing official from the Trump administration has been released. We have not heard from President Trump since his national security meeting that lasted over an hour ended. We haven't heard from him or the administration directly. So we're kind of just sitting here waiting as more attacks are happening. Let's well, I was going to flip over there, but I've got live feeds up of different organizations. I'm trying to keep up with as much as I can to make sure we don't miss anything that happens. And I'll just repeat what I've said, that I hope that we don't get an address tonight, because if we do get an address tonight, I don't think that's a good thing. I think that means that the worst news, at least in theory, was happening, and that would be that we're getting involved. Now, I'm still not convinced that we're going to get involved. I think that right now, with everything going on with social media, I think people are freaking out all over social media over all types of reports. I think that there's valid criticisms to be had of President Trump. I am a huge supporter of President Trump, but I think that it is okay to criticize President Trump. It's okay to be worried about our involvement in this. If you are, some people are fully supportive of that, and that's fine too. What I don't like is a lot of people that were anti-Trump and then pretended to support Trump are now screeching like pathetic little girls at every piece of news that happens. And I don't care what those people have to say. If you've been crying about Trump for years, I don't care that you're crying about Trump today. You mean nothing to me from that perspective. You should never be taken seriously. You're the boy that cried wolf. I don't take you seriously. I do take people like Tucker Carlson seriously and Steve Bannon. I take their criticisms very seriously, and I share a lot of their criticisms because I think that the United States of America, and you can say what you want. You can say that, well, if boots aren't on the ground, then it's not a big deal. And I agree with that to an extent, but right now, we are putting way too much focus in this already because we have not got any clear answers from the administration at this point in time. So that's left a lot of people to have to speculate as to what may or may not happen. And one thing we know about President Trump is that he does listen to his supporters. He does listen to feedback. He does take that into consideration. Look at the situation with the, hang on. What is this? Hang on. What are they saying here?
Involvement in this war could end Iran's nuclear ambitions and even topple its autocratic government, reshaping the Middle East for decades to come. But it would be fraught with political risk. The history books are littered with leaders whose reputations never recovered from overseas folly. There you see the stakes. Let's bring in our panel here in New York. Martha McCallum, anchor and executive editor of The Story.
Yeah, I think Trump has to be very much aware of these problems, that yeah, his legacy can be hurt significantly by this. And regardless of how involved we are going to be, we are already involved too much for a lot of people, myself included. Yeah, we're not going to listen to Harold. Don't worry. We're still just waiting. I'm keeping this on screen just so everybody understands that there are reports out there this is going to happen. Whether it does or doesn't, we'll see. Let's see. Elwing's Secret Garden for 10 says Trump is in negotiation mode. I agree with that. He has to play the madman who might just get involved to pressure Iran to make a deal. He is anti-war. I trust him to make the best call for America, not Israel. I agree with this. Trump is a master negotiator. He absolutely is. And right now, he is being very aggressive. I said this yesterday on my stream about how everything that he's saying on his True Social account, it comes off as someone who is, he likes that people have this view of him that he's an unhinged madman. He loves that idea. And he loves the idea that they don't know what he's going to do next. And so I tend to agree with that for sure. But I also think the criticisms are fair. Polite Rude Guy says, biggest W if Trump can defeat Iran in 2025. Packy Proton says, if you get bored, send D-Day some AI fun. Classic Stang Lover says, was Noam in meeting earlier? I don't think Kristi Noem was in that meeting earlier, but I don't know the answer to that question for sure. So, look at there. Another bullshit report. Just in, the White House has called a lid for tonight, meaning the president is not expected to be seen on camera. Reports of an address to the nation regarding Iran are false. More bullshit. I'm actually happy about this. I am happy about this. More bullshit. But as much as this is probably like, I'm happy that Trump not addressing the nation is a good thing. It's a very good thing. President Trump continues to be in control of the situation. So that is damn good news right there. I want to see if we get more reports on this other than this Twitter account. So let's see. I think Trump likes where he's got everything right now, man. Trump doesn't want to. I agree with the super chat from just a few minutes ago. Trump absolutely likes where he's got everybody. He likes that they don't know what he's going to do. But for American people, it's causing chaos. I don't see anybody else reporting this though, except for Nick Sorto. So hang on, let's see. And he's a great follow. He's a great follow. Okay, so obviously another account that I follow is reporting the same thing. Okay. Where are they getting this information from? That's what I want to know. Like, where is that information? How do they have that information? And then look, like you're getting stuff like this from 5 hours ago. Breaking: Trump is about to make a policy decision on Iran from Axios. Axios has been spreading some bullshit for the last several days. Okay, let's see. Nothing. I'm not seeing any more reports at the moment. So just those two so far. I swear, what would we do without Twitter? Honestly, life would be better without Twitter. It's just crazy the amount of fake news out there right now, man. Well, I've still heard nothing from the White House directly, and I think, let's see, I'm going to Trump's True Social account to see. Nothing on True Social. Nothing. Got that one. Wackamy. Please don't swallow WMD scares 20 years after Iraq. Trump vetoed Israel's plan to kill Ayatollah. Iran has neither means nor reason to strike the U.S. Sanador says, God bless Israel, the troops, and our president. Geek85 says, thank God Trump is the president and not Kamala. Obama says Trump should just take a week off and play Skyrim and eat nachos while periodically saying maybe, maybe not, and this whole thing will blow over. Ministry of Wrong Things says the leaks are real. The news is fake. Richard says no one is reporting on all the deportations. I saw a theory out there that this might be this might be a situation where Trump is distracting everybody with this, and they're doing mass deportations across the United States so that the media won't focus on the mass deportations and they won't have protest. That's what somebody was saying. I'm like, I mean, I love the idea of that. I do love the idea of that. That dude, I don't think that's happening, but dude, if he was pulling that off right now, nobody can ever criticize Trump ever. All right. Nobody. Let's see. Socrates Magoat says, I don't want to sound like a groiper, but this all feels like Israel psyop. Lord Bebo just posted about a Trump address. Who's Lord Bebo? I don't even know who that is. Matt Frog says Trump doesn't want a nuclear proliferation. Netanyahu wants regime change. The first can be achieved through diplomacy. The latter cannot. Israel sabotaged the talks for that reason. And then Deborah Young says, no matter what decision President Trump makes, he has to keep it personally to himself, not even letting anyone know so it doesn't get leaked. Anyone knows it doesn't get leaked. So anyone knows so it doesn't get leaked. Yeah. And I wonder where all the information is coming from. You know what I mean? So I there's so much of this that doesn't make sense. Got that one. And Mike Zero sources, have you checked with Mike Zero? He is my number one source for all news on Star Wars and Marvel. He is my number one source. Beardo taught Jeremy to read. I mean, I'm a little bit better than Beardo. I'm not that great, but I'm a little bit better. Trump should speak. I don't know, man. I mean, I would like for more information from President Trump for sure. But I also understand that, I understand the circumstances he's in. It's a very, very complicated circumstance that he's in. And that's what we have to take away from this more than anything. Nobody can fully understand the ramifications of what's at play and the position that Donald Trump is in. He is in the most impossible position, and his decision will affect the lives of millions and millions of people. And he knows that. And as I think Charlie Kirk said it yesterday, but he says this is the moments like this are what Donald Trump was elected for. And I do agree with that as well. So, but I think that criticism of President Trump is valid. I think that MAGA people should continue to criticize him. I think they should continue to use their voices. I think that they should continue to speak up because our voices need to be heard. I don't think the people that have been crying about Trump for 5 or 6 years, I don't think their voices mean shit because they don't. Your complaints mean absolutely nothing. But the people that have supported President Trump and put him in this position, they absolutely should speak up and be heard. And that's what we got with, the reverse on the immigration deportations because MAGA spoke up and MAGA wasn't happy. That's why MAGA is the greatest political movement in history. And we will continue to use our voices and criticize President Trump if we see fit. He needs to hear the feedback. He needs to know what the American people want. He needs to know what we are looking for and what we expect of him. So I am absolutely okay with that. But I guess since there's no address tonight, I'm going to hop over on to Geeks and Gamers. So if you guys want to come hang out with me over there, we're having Tuesday night's main event. And Taker says, diversity is strength, Jeremy. Trump needs to reverse his ban and implement a trans woman. Only draft and get them to Iran immediately. Modest Rat says, I say we stay out of it. If we support Israel, let them pay for the weapons. They can afford it. If they strike U.S. personnel, drop a few Moabs and let Israel do whatever to keep our boys out. Zinni Biscuit says, I feel like this is a dang if we do, dang if we don't situation. Pray for everyone. V6 Neon says, I think of it like the CIA put the Islamic nut jobs in charge of Iran since 79. Since then, Islamic Republic Guard have bombed countries in UK and US, Trump ending and undoing CIA and WEF. And Wired Robot says Jeremy is a master baiter. And then I think we'll end it there. So if you guys want to come hang out with us over on, do you guys want me to raid that? I can. Half of you don't want to fucking listen to Geeks and Gamers shit, but I guess half of you probably do. So I can just raid. I can raid Geeks and Gamers. So let's see here. If you're interested. Okay. Boom. All right. So it will raid Tuesday night's main event. And I will be back when there's more information to share, whether that's tonight or tomorrow or whenever. Keep notifications turned on. Thank you guys so much for all the support. And prayers for President Trump to make the best decision for the American people and by extension the world, but first and foremost the American people. So yes, Trump is still in negotiation mode, so let's let him cook. You guys have a good evening. We'll talk to all of you later. I'll see you on Geeks and Gamers. Bye.